Let's just get a bit of caffeine into me first before we start this, okay? Hello guys, welcome to our channel and our video, question and answer video about Pakistan. I'm Glenn and this is Mado from Germany, and I'm from Ireland, and we're a couple traveling around the world, and we just finished in Pakistan, and we're currently in Sri Lanka right now. It's a beautiful day, it's raining, so we have like a tropical climate here. So we have a lot of questions from our audience, and very interesting questions we really wanted to answer, and we wanted to share our experience with you guys because, you know, it was a very special experience, very special trip, so we want to answer all the questions. So we don't know how many questions we have, but we're gonna
around 15 or so, 20.
Yeah, so
for sure.
Okay.
We traveled 7 weeks in Pakistan and we had an incredible time. We met so many of you guys, and yeah, like we got so many questions from your side, and we thought we're gonna answer them today. So we are about traveling for 1 month around in Sri Lanka. So if you're interested in the video blogs from Sri Lanka, like you can like head to our other content and watch the Sri Lanka series. But now we want to answer your questions
about Pakistan, because we want to finalize the chapter from Pakistan and give you our opinion and our honest, genuine experience and answers about our whole Pakistani experience in your beautiful country. So, what's question number one, Madeline?
What made you decide to visit Pakistan versus other countries?
So, could you possibly answer this question, Madeline?
I think the first idea for Pakistan came before COVID, when we decided to do like a big trip from Pakistan, India, all the way down to Thailand, all the countries. But then COVID happened and we couldn't travel, so we lived in Canada during that time. But like we still had in mind like all these Central Asian and Southeast Asian countries. And I had a work colleague from Pakistan. He told me a few things about it, and yeah, that's my story, how I got the idea of traveling to Pakistan. What about you, Glenn?
I watched a few videos on YouTube there recently, a while ago, and we actually, you know, we were going to go somewhere else, but then we changed our mind and decided to go to Pakistan because the weather was better and it was hotter, and then we realized it was too hot. But yeah, it's okay. It was amazing, but I think I prefer just going to countries that it's not very touristic, there's less foreign people, because I like to see the, you know, the wild side of a country and like the real culture. And I find the only way to experience that is to go to countries that really don't have many foreign people. But we also want to, you know, show other people our experience in the country and how special it was.
So how did we plan our trip? I think we actually planned nothing, because we weren't sure if we were getting the visa for Pakistan, and that was a bit of a problem. I was a bit working at that time, and Clem was doing most of the research for the flights and everything. But like it took kind of long. You can tell more about it, but it seemed like it took forever to get the visa. And then suddenly, all of a sudden, we got it, and then 1 week later we were flying. So we had like 1 week to prepare, which is not a lot of time. So that's why we didn't actually plan anything. So we planned most of the things once we were in Pakistan.
The process of getting the visa, we actually contacted somebody through Couch Surfing, which is a platform where you stay with locals and experience the local life. But this guy we were talking to on Couch Surfing got a letter of invitation for us through a liar, which was really nice of him and very helpful and made the process much easier for us. You can get a letter of invitation through a travel agency as well. It's like a tourist agency, and they will provide a letter of invitation, which is required for the visa process to get accepted and go to Pakistan.
It's probably easy enough too, but we didn't know about that. So, and then it happened so fast, and we got it through Couchsurfing, which was, I think we got lucky then. And
I think that's just the main thing with the visa, is getting the letter of invitation. As soon as you get this, it's official. You can go there, you know, go to Pakistan. It needs an official stamp as well on the letter, everything. So It's very official.
So, okay, next question. Yeah, did you get a local SIM card?
So the SIM card situation, it's a bit tricky when going to Pakistan as a foreign person. They need a lot of information and you need to go to specific places to get a local SIM card. It can be difficult, don't get me wrong. You can't just walk into any SIM card place and get a SIM card. You may think that, but no, that's not true. So the thing is, we actually got friends or local people we were with. They actually got the SIM cards for us. I think they have a limit of like 5 SIM cards per person.
Yeah.
I think foreign people is like 2, but they need a lot more documentation, your passport, your visa, and it can be a bit slightly more complicated to get a SIM card under your name.
Yeah,
So yeah.
in the end we got like both a SIM card and from different providers, and they worked fine. In some areas his worked, in some areas my SIM card provider worked better.
I think Zong was the fastest, no?
Yeah, I think Song worked pretty well for us.
Yeah, we tried Jazz, Zong, and what's the other one?
Tele something.
Telenor.
Telenor?
I think so. I don't know. But I think Zong was the fastest network out of all networks. Yeah.
If you stay longer and you're a bit more organized, you go to Pakistan, you can get one of these Wi-Fi devices. That's a good option if you go and travel.
Yeah, and you're gonna get a lot more data with this Wi-Fi device. I think it's like €10. It's not too expensive, so if you're there for a long time, it's a good investment, especially if you want to make videos or something. So.
Okay, the next question. How long did it take to get used to everything? I think to everything culture. So how was it for you, Glenn?
For us, for me, I mean, it felt like it took around a week. You know, you need to get used to everything.
Only a week.
Let's say 2 weeks, okay? 2 weeks. Is that okay?
I don't know,
Even
like,
the food, even learning the names of everything, like the food, and also getting used to the local prices and figuring out, how to get around the city, and haggling with the tuk-tuk drivers and taxi men, and understanding the prices and everything else, and also with the water, your stomach, spicy food. It took around 2 weeks, and kind of understanding the religion as well. So it takes a bit of time because it's so different to us. We're like coming from Europe, and it's just a big shock to us, and we have to learn so much. It's difficult to absorb all this information and adapt in such a short period of time. Yeah. So what's your opinion, Madeleine? How long did it take you?
I think probably 3 weeks, because I just take a bit more time to observe and to adapt. And I think if you watch our series, one of the hardest things for me to adapt was definitely like busy cities and the traffic and everybody is coming, and we felt so special. We felt like famous people, and I'm not used to that. I'm more introverted, and I think you've seen it sometimes. I just walk and Glenn does all the talking in the streets because I'm like, whoa, I'm overwhelmed. So that definitely took me 3 weeks. Also for the food to adapt, because I'm not good with spicy food. Yeah, but slowly I got adapted, and so much that I actually miss it now so much. But I think that was for me. It took a bit longer for me, I guess.
Yeah, I'm extroverted. She's introverted, so yeah, we completely different personalities. So I love busy, and she doesn't.
That's good for me, because like he talked into everyone, where I'm like observed in the background, and I'm more observing the details and the small things, So
I'm like the blocker. I'm like the guy that blocks all the attention for Madeleine, because it drains her energy, but it gives me energy. Yeah. This type of situation gives me energy and drains hers.
Okay, the next question. Tell us more about the security details. I think this is a really interesting question, because so for us, before we came in our society, or like in the Western kind of world, we don't know much about Pakistan. Now there's more and more people traveling to Pakistan. You have more access to YouTube videos from people, but like you see like what's in the media. It's not always the best. The impression we have in Europe about like Pakistan. So.
Sad.
So you think it's very unsafe before you come? Because he booked the flight to Peshawar, and I thought, oh, it's close to the Afghanistan border. Should I be worried? I don't know. So, but I was open-minded. But like about the security days, like I think we changed our opinion straight away once we got there.
Yeah, we feel like a VIP when we arrived in Pakistan. Everybody just wants to look after you. They always ask you questions. Are you okay? Do you need security?
Yeah.
I mean, security risk isn't an issue in Pakistan. Like, you feel completely safe.
Yeah, but
We feel safer than like
Even
Europe. Like, we
Yeah.
feel safer in Pakistan than back home.
Even for me as a woman, especially, I felt really good walking on the streets and safe and everything. But like, especially like for security details, what we can highlight, for example, we went to, I mean, in general, there's a lot of police checkpoints. And then when we went to SWAT, especially, or Chitral, because we traveled without our friends, so we had no guide or anyone, and then we had a few checkpoints along the way, and the police really want to make sure, oh, where's your guide, where are you going, what are you doing, do you want armed guards, everything. And then they took all our details and called us every half an hour. Where was that? In SWAT, they called us every half an hour, where are you safe, are you okay? Then we gave the number of our friend we met. And then they called him the whole time. They actually came and looked, this is fine. I think especially in SWAT, because of what happened in the past, they're even more cautious in that area, and Chitral as well. But we're not used to that, seeing a lot of like
Guns, security. We don't see this, especially in my country, in Ireland. Police don't have guns, but in Germany they do.
Yeah, they're the police. But
Yeah.
still, you won't see that. Only if you see the police, it's not that present. But I think it's also part of the culture. We learned now it's part of the culture to see it, to see the guns and all.
And also, we had an experience that we went to a village. What was the name of that village again? And we got like 10 security guards following us everywhere.
Yes, that was outside a small village where we went to see a friend of Glenn. That was outside of Peshawar. Yeah.
It was like a 45-minute outside Peshawar in a little village, and they wanted to like give us security.
Yeah.
I don't know why, but 10 people.
Yeah.
It was a lot, but a bit,
We
sometimes.
appreciate that though, because we felt more than safe, really more than safe. So yeah.
Over the top, over safe, yeah.
Yeah.
Super safe, yeah.
So for security details, if you ever travel to Pakistan, don't worry. And if you want security, you can even get, because if you watch our series, there's probably not like, you don't see armed guards walking with us, but like if you really like feel like you need that, you can have that. That's definitely a thing.
And one fact, before 2017, it was actually required to have an armed guard with you in Pakistan, but afterwards they got rid of it. And it's an option now, you don't have to.
Yeah. Yeah, in general, they really want to make the foreigners feel safe and to protect them. It's the image of the country.
They don't want to destroy the image or reputation.
And they made so much progress, so I think
They're doing really well right now with
Very
foreign,
well, yeah.
Tourism. Oh, fingers crossed,
it goes better
inshallah,
and better,
that in the next
inshallah.
5 years, things change.
Yeah. Was there anything you missed that you didn't get a chance to do? I think in terms of places we traveled or we haven't traveled. Yeah, because we haven't planned a lot, we went with the flow, and then it happens like very last minute that Glenn got a surgery, so we ended up staying almost 2 weeks in Islamabad. So we kind of, I wouldn't say lost a bit of time, but of course we couldn't do much because he recovered from his surgery. So we definitely missed of going to more the northern region, like Hunza, or like the south to Karachi, or we also would like to visit Kashmir. I think these are the places that we kind of missed.
Yeah, because like I think 1,000 people recommended to go to the northern region
Yeah.
and see these places. Like literally 1,000 people
Yeah.
told us to go to the
Yeah.
north. I know it's pretty far as well, so you'd have to fly there. So
Yeah.
that's also why we kind of didn't go up as well.
I think because it was quite cold when we went to Chitral, and the journey there was quite exhausting. So I think for us, we just decided to skip that this time because we were running out a bit of time. But like I think that's another really good reason to just come back and to visit Hunza and visit come back to Pakistan to see more places.
And we will be more prepared, and we know what to look forward to, and we know how to plan the
Yeah.
trip next time because we have a feeling of the country,
Yeah.
and we know exactly what to do. So.
And another thing we missed, I actually would love to come back at some point to the Kalash Festival. I think it's in May. That would have been so nice too, because I really enjoyed the Kalash village. The next question is coming from Amir. So please share with us your most memorable experience in Pakistan. Love to hear everything about it. So yeah, Glenn.
I think the most memorable experience for me is getting my surgery in Islamabad.
Oh yeah.
because I never got a surgery in my life, and that was quite scary for me. So that, you know, left an impact and how I felt. And it's like a memory to look back at, that I actually did this in Pakistan. I made this last minute decision to get my nose fixed. So I'm really proud I did it now. I'm very happy with the overall results, and I feel amazing after it. And the Pakistani system, when it comes to getting a surgery, definitely recommend it. So what's your most memorable experience, Madeline?
Oh, this is a hard one. I think for me it's not just this one experience because I didn't get a surgery. I think for me, because I'm so more focused on like the people and the country and the culture, so I think I got so blown away by the hospitality of the people, and meeting and making friends that they became family, which was, you know, mind-blowing for me. And every moment when like someone offered something, or you had like this kind of like connection and helpful, and you could give something back to them, and it was, yeah, I think this whole thing, like, you know, if I think about it now, like, I'm still like emotional thinking about the people, and I really miss the people and the hospitality.
Yeah, I'm an emotional wreck. I do really miss the people, to be honest. Like they really touched my heart, and I think they're one of like probably the nicest people we've ever experienced in our entire life, and that's another reason why I want to go back, because the people.
Two more other experience, more on the experience kind of side. I think two things were the bus drive to Chitral. That was like, whoa, that was like, I've never done something like this. And also going to the Afghanistan border, I've never imagined myself even going close to there because of what we kind of used to in our society. And then on our first day we arrived in Peshawar, and then we went with our friend Sia to the Afghanistan border, and that's also when I realized, well, we sometimes have to get out of our comfort zone and just do the things, and, you know, trust, you know, that we are capable of doing this type of things.
Trust the process.
Yeah, not you know, not doing anything because we have so much fear. So I will definitely remember that too.
People's perspectives are always different to the reality. Always remember that. That's why you need to try it, and don't judge it by its cover. His name is Sarah J. How was the Pakistani people? How did they behave towards you?
I felt like a famous actress actually, because people are very curious and they look at you, and I think maybe also because our blue eyes and my kind of blonde hair. But at the same time, they look at you and they smile, and they seem very friendly and nice towards us. But this is something, yeah, you feel you're surrounded by people. Yeah,
they're always curious on what you are doing. Like, you would stop for a moment and they would like crowd, like they would stand around you and watch what you're doing always. Yeah. They're always curious, and I find it remarkable because they're not used to seeing foreign people. So yeah. I find it magical. They're like, you look at them and they smile back. It's just that connection with people I find is quite magical, and they always treat us always up and beyond, you know, with hospitality. Yeah,
and with respect. They would like at the beginning they would surround Glenn a lot, which is like good for me because like he's the extrovert, to talk to him. But then over the time I learned that they also just showing a respect to me by not coming too close at the beginning, and then Glenn would introduce me, and then people were open towards me as well. And I learned that people just want to be respectful, and I actually appreciate that. Yeah,
it's a culture thing. So yeah, I'd always like greet Madeline to people, and then they would start talking to her. But if I didn't greet Madeline to the people, they wouldn't look at her or say anything. So it is the culture. Yeah, we need to understand that.
Never met so many hospitable people in the entire world. I still can't find words for how friendly and nice Pakistani people are, really.
And that's why we will be going back, because of that reason.
Okay, so that's the next question. And when will you come back, or will you ever come back to visit Pakistan? I think we already answered that question.
Definitely yes. Sooner than you probably think, because I'm still emotionally like attached to Pakistan, so I really want to go back soon.
Well, we don't have the exact time though, but definitely there's so much more to explore. Maybe this year, maybe next year. we don't know yet. It's gonna be a big surprise.
It's like why in Pakistan is there no women on the streets? So you can probably tell us about this situation as a woman.
Yeah, that's a very interesting question, and I learned over the 7 weeks so much about the culture and like, you know, the way we thought like this is normal, you know, every kind of society has this kind of thinking, oh, this is normal in our society, and then you come to another society or like another country and think, oh, they do everything different. This is you think this is maybe bad, but it's actually not. Like, you have to be open-minded to learn about different cultures, and I learned so much about the relationship between men and women, and we learned so much about the Islam, the Muslim people, you know, and especially I talked a lot with my friend Sia about, you know, about like women in general. And to answer that question, there's no Pakistani woman in the street. I wouldn't say no women, because there actually are women. We have seen women, especially when it comes to kleine clothes market. They go for clothes shopping. But of course there's like different type of markets, especially if I give you example in Peshawar when we went to Namak Mandi. So I talked, you know, that was the Crystal Market clan. So of course I didn't see any women there, but then I learned, oh, this is more the market where the man works, so women wouldn't necessarily go there, and this makes sense to me too, because because the men work. That's also something I learned, because the men are actually working to also bring home and like provide for the whole family, and like and give the woman actually the money, because the women are actually, that's what my friend said, the women are actually the highest person, kind of like the person responsible for the whole family, like how to manage and to spend the money and these type of things. Yeah, so, and the woman is actually more powerful because she's the leader of the whole family and has more responsibilities actually. But of course, that really also depends on the city where you go. You know, I think Peshawar is the oldest city in Pakistan, or even in Asia. Or was that?
It's the oldest city in Southeast Asia.
And of course,
the stone people.
And if you go to Islamabad is very modern, very open-minded. That might be a bit different. I mean, I haven't met a lot of women personally in Islamabad, so I can't say more about that. But I definitely would answer these questions that it seems maybe sometimes that there's no woman, but also just for the reason because Glenn especially loves to go to these wild markets, and that's where all the action happens, and that's most of the time where men work. So
the men's market.
Yeah, and obviously I understand why women don't want to go there, because it's too busy and too hectic, and you don't really want to see that. So that's how I would describe it.
I've noticed in the bazaars where there's lots of dresses and clothes, you see a lot of women shopping here and spending money. So yeah.
You actually seen it one of our episodes where we dress in the traditional dress, and there were a lot of women actually.
Yeah, they're getting their dresses. They want to look pretty, you know.
Yeah. So that's how I would describe the question. I hope I answered correctly. If you have any additional information about, you know, like cultural background, let us know in the comments below, because I just can.
That's what we learned, yeah. So just, you know, if I'm wrong, just let us know.
Yeah, let us know if you have more information and more, insider in this topic.
Will you suggest other foreigners to visit Pakistan?
Yes.
Yes, of course.
I think all the people we just met in the last week in Sri Lanka, we told them everything about it, and go. It's really a great country.
We keep talking about our special experience in Pakistan to people, and they're like blown away by what we're saying about the country. Because I think everybody's perspective on the country is so different to the reality.
But like, I think we're already ambassadors, right? We're Pakistan
ambassadors. We're promoting the country around the world. We're telling our story to everybody we see.
And it's just honest and authentic. That's what our experience was, and we definitely tell everyone, you know, about it. Of course, we also tell like about the security details and what they have to look out for. But other than that,
we always tell them it's safer than our own country back home. So that will give them a good kind of. Give them motivation to travel to Pakistan.
And we definitely express our opinions through our hearts and tell them all about it and how hospitable the people are. So the next question is, which city you like the most in Pakistan?
The city we liked the most was Peshawar due to the hospitality and the amazing vibe we get while we're there. And also, it's just the city is older as well, and
I feel there's more a small bit more culture there. I'm not sure.
Yeah, like it feels like we kind of go back in time as well, and it's like the old kind of culture still exists there, which kind of attracts us to go back again. That's why we went back again for a second time.
Yeah. And also, I think we have also to mention that we also went back to see our friend Sia, because like we met him in the first week, and like then he came to visit you in the hospital when you were in Islamabad, and then we actually thought, so we went back all the way from Lahore to Peshawar to see him one more time. And that's, you know, that's what you do, like when friends become family, kind of, when you're really like close to people, and that's a connection we felt with people in Peshawar.
Yeah, very special, and that's why I'm gonna go back again. Hey, what's the next question, Madla?
What's your favorite dessert in Pakistan?
I mean, I try to be healthy always, so I actually prefer the dates, you know, the dates. They're actually, because they're super cheap and they're super delicious and juicy. Dates are one of my favorite things to eat, you know. But then also fruits as well with dates, you know, great combination. Very common in Pakistan. Unique fruits that you can only get in Pakistan, and they're grown differently as well. They're very organic when you compare back to Europe, because they're grown different. So that's also why I like my fruits and my dates. What's your favorite dessert, Madeleine?
I found it so funny, and I was looking forward to answer this question because you guys know I like dessert. So I really love the molten lava. So I think I had this 2 or 3 times, and I really loved it. So that was really, really nice. And I definitely come back to eat more molten lava.
It's like a volcano of chocolates exploding when you put the spoon inside.
Yeah.
It is delicious though.
Liquid chocolate is coming out of this like brownie or what it is, and you get some, you know, some ice cream on the side. It's just, if you go to Pakistan, try it. And if you're from Pakistan, you know what I mean.
It's amazing. Amazing.
So someone said they're sad that we're leaving, and happy that we continue travel. We definitely want to hear all about this. And then do we think that Pakistan looks like a very poor country? That's a difficult question. I think it depends which place, but of course the standard what we have in Europe, it's a different story to Pakistan. But I wouldn't say it feels poor. I would more say in some areas, like for example in Peshawar, it looks like traveling back in time is the word I would describe it. But then on the other hand, you go to Islamabad and everything is so developed, or the infrastructure with buses are quite good. If you travel from Lahore to Peshawar, you get a really good bus and everything. We had like a 5-star service kind of bus, so it really, you can get everything. How would you explain that?
It all depends where you are as well.
Yeah.
Like there's good and bad everywhere. There's poor and rich everywhere.
Yeah.
Every country's like this.
Yeah.
So I mean, Pakistan doesn't look poor, but some places may look poorer than other places. So, like you just said, Madeleine.
Yeah.
I mean, you can go in the middle of nowhere sometimes, and it can look, you know, poor. People like live a simple life. So, I wouldn't call it poor. I call it a simple life. Yeah. They live off the land, you know. They don't need much.
Because the thing is, poor sounds so like a bad word. So because like we met like people in a village and things like this, and they were living a simple life, and they're the happiest people in the world. So that's why I would never call them poor, because their happiness is so much more important than any money could ever buy you. And this is what we're looking for too, you know. It's the happiness that makes you rich.
Exactly. The more things you have in life, the more stress that it involves. So remember that. Simple life is always better, I think. So the poor people, the people with less money and less, you know, less things, yeah, they seem like the happiest people we've ever actually met. So
okay, the next question. Abdul, hope you had a great time. From you guys' point of view, what quality of life can Pakistan and the cities to do to elevate the travel experience for tourists? So basically, how can Pakistan improve on to make tourism experience better? I mean, we understand, like with the visa letter of invitation, it just makes it, I feel like it makes it more controllable and more safer for Pakistan, for the government. But on our side, it was quite challenging to get, I would say. And then we came across a few places where they had tourist attractions, and yeah, I think we know to support the country, we always happy to give a tip and to pay a bit more. But there was one place in specific where the tourist prices were like over 200%.
No, 1,000% more expensive than the local price.
Yeah, I don't say a place, I don't say the money, but it was 1,000% more expensive than for locals. We are definitely happy to pay tourist prices. I think this is it's a thing which is no problem for tourists coming in to pay extra money to support the country, to support tourism. But that was a bit, I think, on our side we would find to improve that, because there's a lot of people also traveling at the moment on a budget. We're traveling on a budget, and like 1,000% more expensive, that's just not reasonable. So
the thing is, if you make it cheaper, you're going to cause more people to come to the attractions, and more people means more spending.
Yeah, but it doesn't mean like too cheap. Of course, we're happy to pay a bit more, right?
Yeah, of course. Educate people and foreign people that they can't handle spicy food.
That's a good point. I think the spicy food, because we don't have the spices you have like in your countries or like in Asia in general. So we basically just we could eat a salad. Like also one thing, we eat like vegetables. This is considered to us not as a poor man's food. For us, this is like part of our diet. A lot of vegetables and salad without any spices. So we just put a bit of salt and pepper and olive oil. That's for us. And that was quite hard to get. And for me, especially with the spiciness of the food, I think going in a restaurant, even in very good restaurants, I ordered something mild and less spicy. And there was, first of all, the language barrier, and then it came still very spicy, and I was sometimes not able to eat that. So I think that could be something that the country could improve, to just educate the restaurants on foreigners
can handle, because people in Europe can, they can't handle these spicy levels. So they should educate the people on, how to deal with foreign people and what to serve them. So.
Yeah,
it's a good idea, and also
like
with vegetables as well.
Like we still enjoy the food, but for you it was okay. But sometimes for me, I was not just able to eat that. Yeah, that was a bit sad.
Actually, would never eat anything because of this. It's hard to get actually non-spicy food.
Yeah, I think this is something, and of course we always have to get the bottled water. We have to be very careful with these type of things to avoid food poisoning. But it was a bit challenging when it came to the food.
Yeah, the food was tricky. So we would drink bottled water always, just to avoid contamination through water from the tap. But I find the local people don't understand this most of the time. They don't understand that we can't drink the local water, and they would
for the food.
They would put a lot of water and everything and from the tap, and that could also make us sick. So maybe they could get educated that foreign people can't really consume the tap water. So Hina said it was a great series. You guys are so much fun to watch. Loved the wedding gate crash video. My question is, which was your favorite city? And if you were to come back, what is it that would bring you back to Pakistan?
Oh, I totally forgot about the wedding there. That's definitely one memorable moment, I think. The wedding, right?
The wedding experience, yeah.
Forgot about that.
Now that was special. How can somebody convince us to bring us back to Pakistan?
There's not much convincing. I think we want to come back to see the northern region of Pakistan, to see our friends, and meet more friendly Pakistanis.
Yeah, well, we're 110% convinced already, so there's no convincing. We were already convinced the first week we were in Pakistan. So what's the next question, Madeline?
So what are your top tips for Europeans, American or people traveling from the West? Or do you want to start, Glenn?
Your perspective on Pakistan is different to the reality, and your perspective is quite different if you haven't experienced the true culture of Pakistan, or if you've never been there, you can't give your opinion yet. You need to be there and experience the country yourself.
Definitely, I can speak in my own words. Don't be scared to travel to Pakistan, meet the locals, talk with the people, and I think you will meet amazing people,
and you're gonna really have a good time, and you're gonna feel completely safe and secure in Pakistan. Don't worry about that.
Yeah.
So, like I said previously, you need to be careful with the food and the water, and you need to adjust to the new environment in Pakistan. So, you know, take it slowly, step by step, baby steps. You know, expose yourself to, like, for example, kebab. Small amounts, because if you consume a lot of kebab, I know it's tasty, but if you consume a lot, it's going to cause diarrhea, unfortunately, because you're not used to this type of food and how it's processed and cooked, because it's fried like crazy and it's processed completely different to what your body is used to.
And then another point is, we talked about it earlier, get yourself a SIM card. I think this was really helpful. If you have a friend, if you find someone, or even yourself, if you can figure that out, get yourself definitely a SIM card, because it helps. It helps.
You need a SIM card, you need internet, you know, it helps you get around the city much better.
And then if you don't want to be too lost, like we were, think about what you really want to do, especially if you have just certain you know, set time. Like for example, if you just have 2 weeks, plan what you want to do, and then you can plan accordingly to the season. So you go in the summer, you would go to the northern region because it's like all green and it's a nice weather, and then in the winter maybe you would go more south, you know, because right now it's spring, April, and it's so hot now.
Yeah, so we never planned when we went. We didn't know about the weather and what was the best time to go.
So we just had to change our location because it got too dark and we had no electricity. Now we changed the location and now we have electricity.
Okay, what's the next question, Madeleine?
So the next one is, do you have any negative experience?
So it's important to talk about your negative experiences and also your positive experiences. So we're going to talk about our negative experiences. So, I mean, what was negative for you, Madeleine?
Diarrhea, food poisoning, I think due to...
Contamination. Contamination.
Yeah, that's how you call it, from the water. I think that's what I got from bad water.
Because sometimes they throw like tap water on the vegetables and the food sometimes, and the fruits.
Well, that's what I assume. I have no idea, but this was a bad experience. And the problem is, like, if you feel not well and you get diarrhea and everything, you can't do much. You know, you stay worst case 3 days in bed, and I think it happened for me several times, and I stayed in bed like more.
How much time have you missed because you were sick?
2 weeks, I think 5 days. I think
it was more than that.
Yeah, so probably I think five days in total, maybe 6. Yeah, I think definitely the whole period of time I felt really bad when we were in Lahore. And you notice it sometimes I wasn't there or wasn't present in the videos. That's probably not because I didn't want to explore the place, but it's because I had like some food poisoning or like some diarrhea issues. Yeah.
My negative experience, I love Pakistan in every single way. The only problem is when I want to order food in a restaurant, there's no access to vegetables. That's the only negative experience, because I love my vegetables and I like a big portion of vegetables on the side when I'm eating something like rice and chicken, you know. I like my portion of vegetables because that gives me energy, my vegetables, and my fiber for my stomach. The only way to get vegetables is to cook yourself at home without any spices or herbs. Just like boil a few vegetables, and that's the only way to actually get vegetables, is to cook them yourself.
Yeah.
Because we ate out nearly every day, so we didn't have the access, unfortunately.
Yeah, we didn't really have the access to a lot of kitchen. Another point is, especially at the beginning when I was in the phase of getting used to the culture and everything, I felt like ignored by everyone, you know. As a woman, I felt just ignored. We were in public places and like they would all come towards Glenn and would talk to him, and I felt like just ignored, because in our culture, society, this is something impolite. You would greet the man, you would greet the woman, equal kind of. And that made me feel like really bad at the beginning, and the more I learned about the culture, I realized this is a respectful thing, but at the beginning this made me feel bad, and maybe I can say it was a negative experience, but then of course it changed after the time we were in Pakistan. But at the beginning I did not feel so comfortable with that.
Yeah, we just have to understand that it's a culture thing and you have to get used to it. I felt her pain because everybody came to me, like she said, and she was like, you know, behind the scenes, you know, she would just be aside by herself and nobody would talk to her, and there's no interaction, you know. She wants to talk to people as well, and get treated equally like me.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
we got used to it. We got used to it after a while.
You introduced me, and then I like started to talk to the people and started conversation, and that changed a lot. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's kind of the negative experiences, but it's not that bad. Like, other than that, like, it was amazing. Most amazing experience we've ever encountered in our entire lives.
We actually, there were a few videos going viral with big scams. Like, we never really got into a big scam. So lucky to us. So that never happened to us. Yeah.
We're very cautious. We don't get scammed.
I'm a very cautious person, and I can feel that, and I would probably avoid that. That's maybe why we don't get in this type of situations. I don't know.
But I mean, you won't get scammed in Pakistan anyway, because if you get scammed, there's usually justice.
Okay, the next question is, why don't you extend your visa? And I mean, we already left, so we ended up not extending our visas, but like, why?
I mean, we have a limited time. We only have a couple of months to travel, so we want to see as many countries as possible. I mean, we don't do short trips. We do long trips. So,
Yeah.
you know, we went 7 weeks in Pakistan, and that's probably going to be our longest trip out of all countries we actually seen. So, yeah.
7 weeks.
I mean, 7 weeks is a lot, and then we have other countries to actually go to. So,
Even though we love Pakistan so much, for us it was just heartbreaking to leave. So don't get us wrong. And we want to come back, and yeah, it was heartbreaking. Maybe you see our emotions in our travel videos from Pakistan to Sri Lanka. So we were kind of like emotional, overwhelmed and sad, and maybe you can still feel the emotions, but
we're heartbroken.
heartbroken.
I mean, it's the best country we've ever seen. So, and it was my favorite country I've ever traveled to, from my perspective. I'm not sure about Madeline, but yeah.
Yeah, for sure, for sure.
So I mean, we will come back. Don't worry. So
No, we definitely want to come back and explore more, and I think we said it already a million times.
Yeah.
But that's the truth, and we're excited to.
Don't worry, guys. We love your country. We love your people. We love how you treat people. Best experience we've ever encountered.
Yeah. And we're so
1,000 times later.
And we're so happy that we made this series about and share it with the world and show your beautiful country to everyone. And for you guys who are new to our channel and who are looking for information about traveling to Pakistan, definitely go. If you're still thinking about it or concerned, put all your concerns away and just travel and go for it.
Just go and experience yourself. Your perspective is different to what the reality is. So go and experience it. Have an amazing time, and thank us later.
Yeah. Get out of your comfort zone and do whatever you want and travel the country for sure.
Comfort is your enemy.
Yeah.
So, you know, don't remember that. Them wise words.
Yeah. We hope you enjoyed this Q&A. If you have any additional questions, let us know in the comments below. And like we're so happy that like we are growing this kind of community and you're following us, and we're so grateful for that. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe. That would support us a lot.
Thank you, guys. It means a lot for you guys to follow us and support us.
And we hope you stick around for our Sri Lanka travel series.
Goodbye and have a good night, good evening, and good afternoon, guys.
Thanks for watching.
Please like and subscribe for future content.